Hey everybody, welcome to episode 14. First, thanks so much for the feedback and comments from last week's episode talking about amuse-bouche. Got some really great feedback and really enjoyed hearing things that you had to say. But today, with summer just around the corner, I'm going to be sharing 3 of my favorite summer cocktails. All right, so the first cocktail we're going to make today is called a Campari Spritzer. I love this cocktail for several reasons. First of all, it's a beautiful, colorful cocktail, and also it's got a very fresh, citrus-forward flavor with grapefruit, and then of course the Campari has got this real herbal component that mixes so well with the citrus element. So let's make a cocktail. The first thing we're gonna need to do is prep our grapefruit. So what we're gonna do is we are going to cut our grapefruit in half. And then we're gonna go ahead and squeeze that so we can get some good, nice grapefruit juice here. Ultimately, we're gonna want about 2 ounces of grapefruit juice. So we'll get that squeezed out, nice and good. All right, once we have our grapefruit juice squeezed, then this portion is gonna make 4 of the cocktails. So now what we're gonna wanna do is we're going to slice as thin as we can 4 slices of grapefruit. So let's go ahead and do that. Just try to get those as thin as possible. Beautiful, so we've got our 4 slices of grapefruit. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze the remainder of what I've got left into our juice here. Perfect, so now we're going to prep our glasses for the Campari Spritzer. Okay, so we're gonna serve the Spritzer in wine glasses. And what we're going to do is, we're gonna take that grapefruit slice and put it down into our glass, just like this. So you can see it kind of angled down into the glass. So we'll do that with each of our glasses. There we go. And once we get our grapefruit slice into the glass, we're gonna go ahead and add our ice. Okay, so you can see we've got all of our glasses prepped. So we've got our grapefruit slice inside the glass. We've got our crushed ice. Now we're gonna prepare the Campari. Okay, so as I was saying, we wanna go ahead and pour in about 2 ounces of our grapefruit juice. So we'll add that to our measuring cup here. Perfect, so 2 ounces is right at about 1/4 of a cup. Then we're gonna put in 12 ounces of our Campari. All right, so we've got our 12 ounces of Campari, our 2 ounces of grapefruit. All right, we'll stir that up. And now that we have that mixed, we're going to divide this equally amongst our 4 glasses. And like I said, one of the things I love so much about working with Campari, not only the herbal flavor, but it's such a beautiful color. So we're gonna divide that up. All right, once we have our Campari mixture into our glasses, now we're going to top it off with 2 things. We're gonna top it off with some sort of a sparkling wine element. I'm using prosecco today. And then just a little bit of a grapefruit spritzer. So let's open our prosecco. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite sounds. So we're gonna add about 3 ounces of prosecco. So just remember, we're doing 3 ounces of prosecco, and then we're just gonna top it with the grapefruit soda, about 2 ounces. So let's go ahead and add that. This is what really brings this cocktail to life. So fresh and refreshing. And then we'll top it off with the grapefruit soda. Give that a little stir. And there we have our Campari Spritzer. All right, so our next summer cocktail we're going to be doing is a Creamsicle Mimosa. So the Creamsicle Mimosa is kind of a play on the traditional mimosa. It's just a little bit creamier. Kind of reminds me of like what a melted dreamsicle would taste like. Super easy to make, super fun and surprising because it's a little unexpected for guests. So simply start with 8 ounces of orange juice, fresh squeezed preferred. And just so you know, I like a little bit of pulp in my orange juice that I use for these. So totally a preference, but I do like a little bit of pulp. So we start with 8 ounces of orange juice. Then we're gonna add 2 ounces of half and half. And we're gonna add 2 ounces of sweetened condensed coconut milk. And this is the part that just makes it creamy and delicious. All right, so once we have our half and half and our sweetened condensed coconut milk into the orange juice, stir that up, get it nice and creamy. And then from here, we're gonna disperse it into our 4 flutes. So, all right, once we have that put into our 4 flutes, then we're gonna top it off with our prosecco. Perfect. We'll just stir that up a little bit. And lastly, we're going to garnish with an orange slice. So we'll just take our slices. And there we have our Creamsicle Mimosas. All right, so our third and final summer cocktail we're gonna be sharing today is a Sotol Tomato Chiller. And I love this one because typically when we think of summer drinks, we think of like sweet or fruity, something on that side, but this one is delicious and savory. So this is much more on the savory side. It's kind of salty, but still very refreshing. So before we get started, we're going to prepare the mixture that we're gonna use to edge the rim of our rocks glass. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take equal parts of salt and chili powder. So we'll kind of put those on our bowl here. Okay, then we're going to zest 1 lime to mix in with that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so once you've got your lime zested, go ahead and mix those ingredients together. All right, so you can go ahead and use the lime that we used to zest with, to slice, and then we can use that to edge our glass. So let's go ahead and get that. Perfect, and now we'll take our rocks glass and put it into our mixture. So now we've got that super delicious, salty, hot chili lime zest rim on our glass. Okay, so that's good to go. Let's go ahead and add some ice to our glass. Now let's go ahead and mix our drink. Very simple. So we're going to take 2 ounces of Sotol. So big shout out to our friends at Tularosa Distillery and Tumbleweed Lounge up in Tularosa, New Mexico. I've mentioned them in a few of our other episodes, but that's where our Sotol is from. So big shout out to Peter and Heather and Robert up at Tularosa Distillery. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of Sotol. Oops. There we go. Now, we're going to do 2 ounces of fresh-made tomato juice. So what you'll want to do is puree your tomatoes and then strain them through a cheesecloth or some sort of a very lightweight cloth to get that fresh juice. So 2 ounces of fresh-made tomato juice. All right. Now we're gonna do 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice, 1 ounce. There we go. And our final ingredient is 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. So we're just gonna kind of eyeball 3/4 of an ounce. There we go, we got that. And that's it, that's all our ingredients. So we're gonna give that a good shake here. All right, and once we've got that shaken up, and then our final step is going to be a delicious lemon garnish. There we go. There's our Sotol Tomato Chiller. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope I've given you some inspiration on getting ready for summer and the preparation of your summer cocktail menus. Our manifesto moment for today is we're going back to one we've used before, but it is, we believe that sparkling glassware makes everything taste better. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you next week.